Have you ever seen an @ sign on top of a function definition before? This is decorator syntax in action. A decorator, like timer dec here, is itself a function. The purpose of that function is to decorate or enhance a base function that we pass as an argument and return the enhanced function. By writing @timerdec on top of the definition of brew_t, we tell Python that the base function brew_t must be enhanced by the decorator timerdec before it is used. After receiving the base function as an input, the decorator bundles it with additional features without modifying the base function's original code. Once these new features are added, the decorator returns the enhanced version of the function. This enhanced version of the function is what Python will use whenever brew_t is called. In a nutshell, this is how decorators work. Okay, but what's the point? Why use decorators to add on extra code when we could simply include the additional operations in the original function definition? Let's see why by developing our tea brewing example a bit. We'll begin by writing the body of the brew_t function. The function simply prints brewing tea, pauses for a second, and then prints tea is ready. Of course, the execution of this function will take about 1 second, but suppose we want to know the exact runtime. To do this, we could add lines of code to record the start time of a function call, the end time of the function call, and print the difference between the two. Running the code, the function does calculate the execution time. But there are issues with this approach. First, the brew_t function violates the single responsibility principle by performing 2 distinct tasks, brewing tea and timing the process. In programming, functions should focus on a single, well-defined responsibility to make code reusable. In this example, by combining brewing and timing, we can't easily reuse the timing logic in another function. For example, suppose we also have a matcha making function, and we want to time it as well. We could do this by rewriting the timing code from the brew_t function, but duplicating code is not ideal since it makes our code base repetitive and harder to maintain. Decorators offer a great solution to these problems. Let's see how. For simplicity, we'll first decorate the brew_t function. We'll bring back make matcha later. Since decorators are just functions, to create one, we'll start with the keyword def. In this example, the purpose of our decorator is to time the execution of a function, so we'll name it timerdec. Remember that decorators take a base function as an input. So, we'll define a parameter called base function to represent that input function. This completes the header of the decorator. Let's move to the body. Since the goal of a decorator is to build an enhanced function and return it, let's define that enhanced function. The enhanced function will use the base function as its foundation, so it should include a call to base function. From there, we can add the code we want to execute before and after the base function call. To measure the execution time of the base function, we'll record the start time before the call, the end time after the call, and then print the difference. And that's it! We've created a decorator that takes a base function as an input and adds the operations to measure its execution time. The last step is to tell our decorator to return the enhanced function. Note that this return statement is part of the decorator, not part of the enhanced function. Great! Now let's use our timer decorator to measure how long the focus brew_t function takes to run. To apply decorators in Python, we have 2 options. First, we can call the decorator and pass the function we want to decorate as an argument. Running the code, we get a function object. This function object is the enhanced function that the timerdec returned. To call this function later in the program, we can give it a name by assigning it to a variable, say decBrewT. Calling dec brew T will brew T and time the execution. In contrast, calling brew T still just brews T. Note that when passing a base function to a decorator, we simply write the name of the function. We do not follow the name with parentheses. Adding the parentheses would immediately trigger a brew T function call, which is not what we want here. It's also important to note, when applying decorators, we could reassign the decorated function back to the original function name. This approach ensures that every call to the original function name, brew T, automatically includes the timer functionality. This is quite powerful. By using a decorator, we've added features to brew T without modifying the original code. But at the same time, applying decorators this way separates the decoration from the function definition. This makes it less obvious to someone reading this code, or to our future selves, that the base brew T function will be enhanced. Luckily, we can address this drawback with the @decorator syntax that we mentioned in the beginning. Writing this above a function is equivalent to applying the decorator manually. Running the code, we see that a call to brew T both brews T and times the process. The @decorator syntax makes the decoration an explicit and visible part of the function definition itself. For that reason, this syntax is generally how decorators are applied in Python. Now that we have seen how decorators help us write focused functions, let's see how they also help us reuse code. To do this, we'll bring back the makeMatcha function to time it. Now that we've defined the timer decorator, timing the makeMatcha function is easy. We simply write @timerdec above the function header and call the function. Running the code, we see that a call to makeMatcha both makes matcha and times the process. Perfect! The syntax lets us easily reuse the decorator and clearly show which functions are enhanced. But so far, we've only decorated simple functions that don't have parameters. To decorate functions that do have parameters, we need to do a bit more work. To give ourselves some space to work, let's fold the makeMatcha function. To see how to decorate functions with parameters, we'll modify our brew T function to take two arguments, the type of tea to brew and how long it should steep. We'll use these values inside our function to update the first print statement and the sleep function. Then, we'll update our brew T function call to pass the tea type green and a steep time of 1 as arguments. Now that our brew T function takes arguments, running the code generates an error. This error tells us the function that we've called takes 0 arguments, but we gave it 2. Wait, what? Haven't we defined brew T to take 2 arguments? Well, we did, but remember, when we decorate brew T with the timer decorator, calling brew T actually triggers a call to the enhanced function defined in the decorator. And enhanced function currently doesn't take any arguments. We could try to fix this issue by creating type and steep time parameters in the enhanced function and passing those into a base function call. Running the code, this fix worked for the brew T call, but we get another error when Python tries to execute makeMatcha. This happens because we've now specified the enhanced function must take exactly 2 arguments. The problem is, makeMatcha doesn't take any arguments, and let's suppose we don't want it to. Can we make our decorator flexible enough for both functions? The answer is yes, but we'll need to modify the enhanced function header. Again, the issue with the current header is that it specifies exactly 2 parameters. In Python, we can relax this requirement and allow a function to take any number of inputs using *args and *kwargs. If you aren't familiar with *args and its sister syntax, *kwargs, make sure to check out our video linked in the description first. To allow enhanced function to take any number of positional arguments, we'll replace the explicit t-type and steep time parameters with *args. By writing star args in the function definition, we're telling Python to pack all positional arguments into a tuple named args. This means that when the brew_t function is called, the arguments green and 1 are passed to the enhance function and packed into the args tuple. To use these arguments in the base function call, it might be tempting to simply pass the args tuple. However, this won't work because the args tuple itself counts as a single argument, and our base function expects 2. Instead, what we need to do is split the tuple into multiple arguments. We can do this by applying the unpacking operator star to the args tuple. While the star args syntax looks the same in both the function definition and the function call, Python does something different in each case. When used in a function call, the star operator unpacks a tuple into separate positional arguments instead of packing positional arguments into a tuple. Since our args tuple contains green and 1, these values will be unpacked into 2 separate arguments. Now the number of arguments in the base function call matches the number of parameters in brew_t. Better yet, since enhance function accepts a flexible number of arguments, the timer decorator will now also work with the make_matcha function. Because the make_matcha call passes no arguments, the arg tuple is empty. So when it's time to unpack the tuple in the base function call, there's nothing to unpack. This is a good thing since make_matcha has no parameters. Running the code, both functions work as expected. However, if we stop here, our decorator isn't as flexible as it could be. For example, if in the brew_t function call we instead pass t_type and steep_time as keyword arguments, our code breaks again. To fix this, we need to modify enhance function to also accept keyword arguments. We can do this by adding $kwargs as a parameter. In this example, $kwargs tells Python to pack all keyword arguments into a dictionary named kwargs. So, when the brew_t function is called, the keyword arguments t_type equals green and steep_time equals 1 are passed into the enhance function. At this point, they are all packed into the kwargs dictionary as key value pairs. To use these arguments, we need to pass them into the base function. Like with args, we can't simply pass the kwargs dictionary itself. We need to split it into 2 separate arguments using the dictionary unpacking operator $. When used in a function call, the $* operator unpacks a dictionary into separate keyword arguments. So during the brew_t function call, when the kwargs dictionary contains these key value pairs, $kwargs splits up the dictionary into keyword arguments t_typed equals green and steep_time equals 1. These keyword arguments match up with the parameters defined in the brew_t header. Running the code, the keyword arguments are now accepted. By using *args and $kwargs, we've made our timer decorator more general and flexible. It can take any number of positional or keyword arguments and forward them into the base function. At this point, the only thing preventing our decorator from becoming fully general and flexible is how it currently handles return values, or more accurately, doesn't handle them. For example, suppose we want our make_matcha function to calculate and return the optimal time window to drink the matcha, which is 30 minutes after it's prepared. We can do this by first importing the datetime libraries, datetime, and time delta modules, modify our make_matcha function to return a string that says drink matcha by now, plus 30 minutes, and print make_matcha's output. However, running the cell, we get none instead of a drink by time. This happens because our decorator doesn't yet capture and pass along the return value from the base function. To fix this, we need to modify our decorator to capture the return value from base function in a variable, then return that variable at the end of enhance function. Running the cell again, We now get the exact time by which we should drink our matcha. And our decorator still works with brew tea, even though it doesn't return a value. Awesome! Now our decorator is as flexible and general as possible. It can decorate functions with any number of positional or keyword arguments thanks to star args and double star KW args. It also supports functions that return values without breaking when used with functions that don't. If you'd like to practice what you've learned in this video, check out the notebook we created. It has a few exercises to get you started. We're working on lots more Python explainer videos like this one, so be sure to subscribe so that you don't miss out. If you have any questions or topics that you'd like to learn about, let us know in the comments below. We'd love to hear from you. Thanks for watching!